Howdy, everyone. My name is Jack Sebastian. Um, I am the Google Developer Student Club lead at Texas A&M. We did not have a live event for this week, so I decided that in addition to the game night, we would have a little recording, sort of just like an introduction to the Google Solution Challenge, which was sort of this highly anticipated competition that Google was hosting, and I mentioned this at the beginning of the semester. Um, but I also did mention that we would have some sort of introduction to the Google Solution Challenge at the end of this semester because January is when it starts up. So this is sort of like an inspiration slideshow, just sort of getting a feel for what it is. And then next week we'll actually have like a very full, in-depth explanation of what it is. But this is just sort of getting an idea of what you can do for the solution challenge. So let's go ahead and get started. So as an introduction for those of you who don't know what this Google Solution Challenge is, it's an annual contest presented by the GDSC, so the Google Developer Student Clubs, so A&M included as our chapter. And it invites students to develop solutions for local community problems using one or more Google products or platforms. So these Google products can range anything from Flutter, Dart, Firebase, TensorFlow, you name it. So it could be any Google technology, and it has to help or has to solve some sort of problem in the local community. And that's basically it. I mean, it is somewhat open-ended, but we'll see on the next slide that the 2021 Google Solution Challenge, I guess, like theme or prompt was to solve one or more of the UN 17 Sustainable Development Goals using Google technology. So you might be asking, what these development goals are. I have it on this slide, and it is a lot, and it's not going to, I mean, um, it is a lot, and we're not going to be going too much in depth to it, but we see like there's no poverty, so ending their sort of thing is ending all poverty in all forms by 2030. And then we have zero hunger, which is just ending hunger, achieving that food security, improved nutrition, and promoting sustainable agriculture, good health and well-being, so ensuring that healthy lives and promote well-being for all people and at all ages. Quality education, ensuring inclusive and equitable quality education and promoting that, lifelong learning opportunities for everyone around you. Gender equality, we have clean water and sanitation. So this is just ensuring that there is clean water available or having that availability and sustainability management for clean water and sanitation in your community. Affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth. So this is sort of like promoting that inclusive, sustainable economic growth, full and productive employment, decent work for all, that sort of thing, that sort of theme. Industry and innovation infrastructure. So this is building resilient infrastructure, promoting, inclusive and sustainable industrialization. We have reduced inequalities, we have sustainable cities, responsible consumption and reproduction, climate action. So this is taking that urgent action to combat climate change and its impacts. So this is actually something, there was actually a lot of projects that dealt with this for people that submitted to the 2021 Solution Challenge. We have life below water, so this is conserving and sustainably using the ocean, seas, marine resources for sustainable development. Life on land, so this is like protecting and restoring, terrestrial ecosystems and, sustainably managing forests, combating desertification, all that jazz. Peace, justice, and strong institutions. So this is sort of unique, but it was promoting peaceful and inclusive societies. So partnerships, there's just a ton of stuff, and that was just like a very brief overview. But these are the 17 sort of the UN themes that you could do. How do they name it? Sustainable Development Goals. But using these technologies, as long as it fit one of these themes, and you could do more than one if you wanted to, then this worked. So now we have this sort of graph here, which is called the design sprint methodology. So this is like one very popular way that you can use to identify your solution. So whenever you're starting out with a solution challenge, you might be a little confused as to how to break up each phase, where to get started, and then, finally going through that whole process of building your product, finding that solution to your problem, and then having that final product at the end. So this is the design sprint methodology. And this was an exercise developed at Google Venture, or formerly known as Google Ventures, so GV. It's called the design sprint, and it's usually done as this 5-day exercise. And it is this like flexible framework that you can use for solving problems through designing, prototyping, and testing ideas with users. And it can allow you and your team to validate ideas before going through, the energy of building a product. So we have a video here that I'm going to show you guys, and it is sort of like how to identify a solution, and it's by a Google developer expert here. So we're going to watch this. Okay, awesome. Let me try my camera. So something that he talked about, which I thought is a little, or it's interesting, was the like user survey, which I feel like gets overlooked a lot in the solution challenge, and it's like asking people around you to, um, comment on what you have so far as like a prototype and building upon their feedback, because it is important that you get some sort of feedback. But that's always something that you should supplement within the product that you're building, is getting that user feedback. So, okay, sorry. Okay. Um, so before we move on, uh, we're going to be looking now at the top 3 Google Solution Challenge winners from the 2021. We're going to be going through like, what they did, and then we're going to have their demo video play. And this is sort of like the bulk of what this presentation was all about. It's just sort of getting that inspiration, right, of like what it looks like. Because I mean, it's easy to see like the information of what the Google Solution Challenge is, get the prompt, and then just not know where to start or like what your product could actually look like. But hopefully, especially because these are the three winners of the 2021 Solution Challenge, that this will give you some sort of inspiration on what you could do for a product. And again, it's very flexible. Like Google made it very flexible in terms of like what you can build, because again, it could be anything as long as it followed those 17 UN themes. But the first one we're going to talk about, which I personally love, is the Dementi Cares, which was in Singapore. I guess it's only two people because that's the only people that were listed on the Google Developers Solution Challenge website. But it says, Dementi Care is an application equipped with many features to complement caregiving for dementia patients, such as sending urgent notices, SOS, and creating a patient dashboard. I have like sort of a long family history with, uh, you know, with dementia, so this was something that really caught my eye, and I'm really glad that they did an awesome job with the application that they made. So we're gonna watch this. Okay, so I think actually the rest of this video is them on the forum, so we won't be watching that. But let's escape. Turn back my camera. So there was a lot that was included in the Dementi Cares project specifically. Something that I should note that I didn't mention before is these are the winners. So these are like, the best of the best projects. Um, you do not have to do something this complex, and this is me sort of speaking to, I guess not, I mean, not only my chapter of GDSC, so Texas A&M, but this could be for anyone who's doing the solution challenge. And it's that you don't really have to at the end of the day, like this isn't the solution challenge isn't about winning, right? Like it would be nice to build something super cool and like take home, be in the top three winners, but really the emphasis here is just like helping the community around you. So this is just like making any application that you think would help some sort of problem in the local community, finding that solution and building some sort of product to help solve that problem. So if it's something like what Dementi Cares did, so they were using machine learning, natural language processing, Google Maps, these chat rooms, like that is like super, super, super awesome. But I mean, even like a watered down version of that, even if you had maybe like a fraction of all the implementation that they did, that's still completely fine for submissions into the Google Solution Challenge. And I highly recommend that like any teams who are doing this, that you just build that, find that team, build your product, and you can submit to the solution challenge, and you shouldn't even worry about winning. This should just be something that you should be more focused on helping the community. Um, so that was Singapore's Dementi Cares, which I thought was awesome. Now we're going to move to Team Hack Inversion, or Eye of God, and then this was a project that was submitted by a team in India. And so I'll just read this. So to offer a solution to the urban dwelling visually impaired, the team built Eye of God, which is an easy to use navigation system for visually impaired people, acting as their virtual cane to help them navigate to the destination all by themselves without any of the assistance of other people. So this was something, again, like I emphasized in the last one, super in depth, but I thought this was super awesome. So we'll gonna go ahead and watch this. Another awesome application that these people, Team Hack Inversion made, or I've got. Um, I know the exact same thing or theme of finding that problem. So it was helping the visually impaired and building this product, and they implemented not only more than one Google technology, but all these different kinds of technologies. And again, this is something that's super complex, but fits the theme to submit to a Google Solution Challenge for a project submission, and they obviously were the top three winners, and they definitely deserve it. Um, Let's go to the next one. So this is UP System. So Irise. This is pretty awesome. So this was a project submitted by the Philippines, and I'm half Filipino, so gotta show that Filipino pride. But I'm gonna read their little abstract here. So Project Island Response and Intervention for Systematic Evacuation, or Irise, is a disaster risk management system that aims to bridge the information gap between local government units, disaster risk management offices, and the island communities of Tubog and Bohol. Now we're gonna go watch the video. Awesome. So their problem of solving, the Philippines geographically located around a, massive body of water is prone to a ton of, flooding, typhoons, storms. So having that disaster risk management in their application is something that, shined through whenever they were submitting their project to the Google Solution Challenge, and they ended up getting them top 3. So that was pretty awesome. Let's keep going. So I think that is all I have planned for us today. Yeah, so these are the social media. We include this at the end of all of our slideshows at Texas A&M, but if you guys want to follow us on any of our social media handles, then go ahead and type this URL in. And then some final notes. The solution challenge prompt won't actually be live until January. So you won't actually have any information of what you can actually start building. But they will be released in January, so a few months from now. And then I will also say that if you guys are interested, and this is for anyone in the Texas A&M chapter already, or for anyone who wants to attend virtually, then I would highly recommend going to our next event, which is Thursday. Our next Thursday, let's see, that'd be 11th. So the 18th, November 18th, 6:30 to 7:30. We're going to be having our event, which will be the Google Solution Challenge sort of presentation that we're hosting at Texas A&M, and it's going to be me going through a more in-depth slideshow of what the Solution Challenge is, how to get started with it, and how to do, have a very solid projects submitted for the solution challenge. So if that is something that interests you, then I highly recommend going to our event on Thursday. But other than that, I appreciate you guys tuning in for this video. Hopefully it was very informational for you guys, and you get some inspiration on what you think you might want to do for whatever project that you're planning on doing for the solution challenge. But other than that, thank you guys again for coming, and I hope you have a good one.